Hello everyone, and welcome back to our Road to 9 Dan series. First of all, I want to apologize for last Saturday's puzzle series because I have to use my phone's connection because the internet box is too slow and my phone kind of broke down the connection, so I had to cancel that, and I hope that tonight will be fine with the connection issues. So last time we reached the cup 15 here, and we'll try to simply continue. We had 100% victory. Here there is 3 lost games, but those are different games. You'll understand why at some point. But now we'll simply play the next. Let's go. So here side elephant shows, and I will choose the opposite side elephant. I don't play that opening so much because I don't think that's the best that blue can do, but I will change a bit so that you can see. Okay. Why not? That reminds me our first stream, so that's a victory. Not very interesting for nobody, but okay, that's the game. Next one. Now I'm Han. I simply swap the coordinates, and he goes for inner elephants, and I go for sides elephant. Yeah, good game. So again, the idea is to take the center with the cannons, and yeah, I will try to develop my rook quite quickly so that I can be annoying there at some point. So since he begins with inner elephant, there's that square is very strong, and it will probably bring an elephant. I put this cannon here because if I put that one and I move the rook, he can take the elephant. But I understand that this cannon there would be easier for this one, but I prefer that solution right now. So the idea is to avoid the cannon takes elephant when the rook is not there anymore. Okay, so pressure points for his elephant, and kind of same for mine, but he's sacrificing the elephant, and he wants to take advantage of that fight probably, because he could quickly jump into the action, and now that pawn is not protected anymore, and I will kind of ignore that. I'm protecting with the rook, and I'm also attacking here, and as I said, he probably wants to go there, and he's also defending that square with the rook. The idea of exchanging the elephant is that I can now develop the rook here and bring a knight here. I won't bring the knight right now here because he can take that file, so I will take that file just before. As we said, if the cannon goes here, I can defend with the pawn. So now his idea is to check pawn here, and if rook there, in order to threaten the knight and the pawn, he can simply retreat and that cannon will protect here. So now I'm going with the knight, and he will probably threaten my pawn here. Okay, that also works because it's the knight is 5 points and the pawn is also 5 points, and here, oh, I thought he would take this one for free, but that's not the case actually. So now, yeah, I will take it. Two solutions here to defend the knight: push the guard or develop the elephant, and I will develop the elephant just after I activate my rook before, and I will defend after that. That's not a big deal, both could have worked. So I have 3 pawns that are on that side of the board, and his pawn are on that side of the board, so I have to be careful if he tries to push because he has more activity. His both rooks are on that side of the board with no pawns, and mine are on both sides. The threat may be knight here, but that's okay. Concerning the pawn, I have a good advantage, 61.5 points against 57, sorry. But I have 2 cannons and he has only 1, and since there is less and less material, the knight become better and better. So I have a cannon that is not really active yet, and I will simply give 2 points and trade back. That's what he did also, so that I can now activate and it will be more balanced position, and I have 2.5 points score of advantage, so that's good with that. Maybe there's a free pawn here, so there's no rush to bring the cannon there, and I think that's quite bad for him if I do that. Yeah, that will be, that pawn was very strong because he could link with other very quickly, and now it gives a lot of power for my rook and maybe other influences later. I will try to show you. Okay, going back to the middle, and maybe I will go here or here with the cannon. That pawn, yeah, it was kind of free, but if the cannon moves, there is a discovery check with the knight. But I don't know if maybe you lag with the chat or if you are talking about that pawn. So here there is already 1 threat and 2 threats on that guard, and if I can bring a 3rd one, that would be checkmate after a few exchanges. And actually, can you find the checkmate in 1, 2, 3, in 3 moves? It's very related to what I just said before. So that was a bad move. How can we win that? Nah, yeah, I don't know. For the discovery on the central pawn, I was a bit too lazy to calculate it to the end, so that was okay. So the idea to achieve checkmate is to think about the cannon threatening here, the rook already threatening here, and now since the knight has moved, there is free space. So yeah, rook 93 check, only one move. Guard here, rook sacrifice, guard takes, is in it, and rook checkmate. And that's good because we use the fact that we had already some pressure here, and that rook is not defending, this one neither, and now it's too much to handle. And he noticed that. So I simply show you the end in the analysis, and now whatever rooks we take only move since the rook is at the center, and here checkmate. So that was a nice game. I'm not sure I was in such a good position at the very beginning because there was some steam moves like so he goes for the sacrifice. Maybe here simply for him pushing the pawn, because my rook has to move somewhere and he could take that pawn. This one is protected here by the rook. I could go there to prevent the elephant, but he could simply push after. Here it works, like not so much, but if elephant takes, rook takes cannon, since the cannon is pinned. So rook takes pawn is not possible right now, but it's likely that there is some good solutions, and I prefer the situation of the blue player here. That seems more comfortable to play. Okay, so let's go for a new game. Okay, no need for advertisement. And we are already one victory to the league 14. So he hasn't played so much game, and he has a very good win-lose ratio, so I think he is worth better than 14 cup, so we'll be careful. Inner elephants again, right side elephants. Okay, so he's playing correct opening moves, and now trying to give space for whatever will comes. We mentioned that pawn move here that can be dangerous because of the knight of the elephant and the cannon, and that's probably what will be the problem here. So if I go elephant here, he can protect with the knight in that position, but I'm fine with this. And if I go here, knight there, and that's kind of a fork because I have to if I defend here it takes the elephant, and if I defend here it takes the pawn, so I can't play the elephant right now in that position. I will develop my rook and block those squares. Now the elephant can enter the game. I think he will play knight here. Okay, so he wants to bring the knight in that position, as I said before, to do the fork. And I simply can prevent that playing that move, and that also offers some space for, I don't know, my elephant or my knight in the later game. Okay, so that's a bit of chasing my rook. Like elephant first, fork, pawn here. Yeah, it would have worked. We could have played it this way. Exactly. So here he could give a pawn in order to get the file, but there's not so much that he can do. So I will now... not sure. I would like to maybe... when the rook are here or here, they are very strong because they are very blocky for the elephant and hard to threaten with knights. So maybe I'm thinking about bringing the rook beyond the defense, because that elephant takes, I may do it later, but I have to mind the hole that will be created when the elephant moves if the rook is not there anymore. So I will simply increase the pressure that way, activate a rook that wasn't playing, and maybe changing the combination with that elephant on that square. Right now that knight is protected with the other one, but that kind of chokes the adversary. Okay, that was the move I was expecting. And now I can sacrifice here. Because if pawn takes, rook takes here, that's 7 point for 7 point, but that rook will be very active and it's already threatening that point and that knight. So maybe the best idea for him is to take the elephant here, but even there I go with the rook, and that will be a lot of pressure for him to undergo. And that cannon wasn't achieving so much right now. I mean, I could activate it later with that move, and maybe change. But here I think that my play is way more active with that sacrifice, and there will be no pawn chain against my rook, since there's only one, and that rook, there's a lot of people in that file. So yeah, that's small tactics, but with a lot of small tactics you get a lot of advantage in the end, and you win the game if no mistake. That's sometimes the hardest thing to do, not to blunder a game that you should win, and I'm quite good for blundering games. Okay, so here what's to notice is the little rook trap. Taking with the cannon is not so useful here. I cannot bring the rook there neither. I could think about rook there, but that's too dangerous. So I'll bring my rook here. 50, yeah, rook 57, because that's not so scary, because I have a very useful elephant. And now that's 2 pawns for an elephant, which is losing a point, and also both of my rooks are quite active, while his rooks are not. Yeah, there's a little delay with the chat, but that's okay. I'm not even, yeah, since he is check, the best is to take back and in those situations it's important to check that sacrificing the pawn brings nothing deadly here, which is not the case yet. But keep in mind that a rook behind the defense can be very annoying depending on where your pieces are defending or not defending. So he goes for the cannon. When there is rooks like that, be careful with fork like things, but there's no risk here, but it's important to kind of check what can happen or what is dangerous. Okay. I could exchange the rooks and gain a pawn, but p16, 9. Yeah. But I think I prefer to block that elephant and to put some pressure, since the guards are isolated. If I play a move like that, that's dead for him. So that's more aggressive. I'm not saying that this is a bad move, that's a different play, more like exchanging and winning like with pushing the pawn. That also works very probably. That's just different style of play. And now with the cannon here, threatening there, I don't think he can defend that properly. No, that will be very painful actually. If he does nothing, that's checkmate in 2 moves. And depending how you react, I cannot say yet. I don't even know for him what's the best move right now, because that everything is paralyzed. The rook are not cooperating, the cannons are not threatening, and the biggest problem is that the quads are not linked, because when there is attacks on the fortress, that's not my case, my quads are not linked, but there's no attacks. But when you are trying to defend and hide your king in your fortress, it's very important that the quads are linked in order to avoid those kind of putting a lot of pressure in one quad. No, actually I'm not sure at all he can avoid, maybe with Yes, that's a way to avoid the checkmate, but that loses so much material. If king goes there, rook checkmate, since they are doubled, so he has to go here. Rook 96, 76, 96, 60. Oh yeah, I prefer to take with this one, yeah, no problem. And now that's just checkmate in 1, since rook without protection in the fortress. So to analyze that game, he played the good moves, and actually very often in that configuration this file is also for Cho, but I didn't play that move in order to expect the trap here, and when he plays that he begins to be in troubles. He took different variants, but this is that idea that is paralyzing him and very annoying. And what I was thinking about at some point at that move was going here, and he could develop with this. And I had to, yeah, no, that's quite annoying for me. Here I can maybe, this is the same idea of sacrifice if he takes. That's a defense, but there is nasty things. Sacrificing the rook, and there choose one. No, that was the other one to go. Yeah, there's a threat of checkmate and a knight. Maybe that's not very coherent, everything I played now, but that could have been a way to go. I think for him the mistake was also to play that guard here, because he was a threat of the check and check here. I can understand that, but oops, sorry. It was likely better to hide the general instead of widening the defense. But that's okay for that game, and we'll go for another one. And we reach the League 14. Okay, so I will go with inner elephants, and we have a player with a lot of games and seems very balanced to that level. He goes for elephant right side. Oops. Now that's more likely to be his boy rather than him. It was not a blunder, it was a sacrifice of rook. No, I don't underestimate. I would just be frustrated to lose against like 2 years old baby. But who knows? So here we developed quite quickly that elephant, and that's not threatening, not so much. So we already played a game kind of similar in the first stream, and I will simply try to choke him by pushing those pawns. Not so much convinced of that move, because maybe you want to push at the center, but yeah. Okay, that's very understandable. Up. Okay, so he's ignoring the threat of winning an elephant against a pawn, but that's a pawn that moved a lot, and that's just an elephant, and there is a link. So the idea of that pawn is not to break the chain too early, but simply to put more pressure and at some point break in. So I won't push that pawn right now. I may be careful about that square or that one, and I will go with my knight. Yeah, it takes some activation for that rook. I'm not sure he will... Yeah, that seems to be better. That pawn was protected with the elephant, and that elephant is not threatened, so keeping there... That could be good for going here after with the rook, but that pawn is secure. And now he may go there and exchange the rook, since he has a good activation. However, that's the process of hiding the general. And I want to activate that rook. I don't see a lot of openings on that side, so I will kind of try to change the way. But that's a threat I missed, and it's forcing me to push with or to break my file. And if I push, he can simply go there and check, and I have to move back. But once he... yes. The idea is a pawn push, f check, and if I interpose here, he can take with the cannon, and I won't. I prefer to avoid that, so I will block that way. He could. And p46. There's an elephant here and a cannon, so I can't bring back the pawn here. I would have to bring here to defend. Yes, that pawn is protected by the elephant and the knight, so there's no risk. And I was thinking about that move, but I can simply go here because that pawn is kind of blocking the elephant. Have to be very careful when I go in that square. But now, since the knight is threatened and since the rook is defending here, I'm okay. On a knight 66, I would have exchanged with my knight. The problem for me that if elephant takes is check, and that makes me lose the tempo. Okay. That's time to kill that elephant because I don't want to move that rook, and that would be a problem otherwise. And now if you push, I take. I won't take now because there's no rush to do so. I'll simply put some more pressure. And here he has a good defense in his fortress. He has mobility with that cannon that could after go here. 99 and 98. Sorry, 49, 48. Could be a way to defend and take that file, but I was thinking about taking, but now the rook is not free anymore, so actually that may have been better to do that. I also need to hide. Oh, so now I can do that again. No, there's an elephant. Sorry. That elephant is quite annoying, actually. No, it doesn't. That's a good way to lose a rook in one move. As you see, I still haven't moved my elephants, but elephants are pieces that can quickly jump into the game, and here they are doing a good protection work, this one especially on the center and the the side. Yeah, the toddler is probably the best we met since the beginning of that series. But here that's weird because he played 2 times this and there's no so much difference, just my cannon, but there's no big advantage, so I would say that's wasting tempo. I'm playing that move in order to give more mobility. If that elephant moves at some point, I may jump here and here, or even put the king here if there is no threat, and with that cannon go back there. That's more flexible to have the 2 guards here and the 2 squares for the king to move. Since I don't need to rush and I don't have very clear idea of how to break that, but I will simply wait for a mistake. That's a way to win. And also, since I am Han, I have more points, so the slow way is simply to wait that the game goes and win with points. Okay, I'm not sure about that because that elephant was doing a great job defending the rook and putting some pressure here. And now it's like kind of freedom. Maybe he tries to exchange everything, but after that I will have an active rook against a not so active rook. Now the tactic works, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it works. I could try to use the fact that this is pinned, but he could defend with this move, using the cannon. That may also be a working move, but I will go for the simple and smooth calculation. And after that, I have to think about where the knight may go. He can't take that pawn because of our elephant, but he may be able to go here in order to threaten that cannon, but I can jump, and since there is a lot in the central column, it's not a big problem. Yeah, indeed, in tournament, sorry, I have to focus a bit. In tournaments, at least in South Korea, the rule is that if you win a game by resignation, checkmate, or with the clock, with the time control, it's 7 points for the winner and 0 for the loser. But if you win a game because of point counting, because of Big Jang, or because of after 1 hour the game stops, the kind of time limit, in that case it's 4 points for the winner and 2 for the loser. And yeah, that's the rule, and I had a not so good experience with that rule. I will explain to you after that. Okay. So he's using the cannon to prevent the knight. He could break the pressure by putting the knight here, since he protects also the rook. And now I have that central file. There's no clear way to use that. I have to be careful because of that cannon here. Oosh, bit too late. I lost a Bayoyomi. I'm using the cannon here maybe to jump that here when I will have moved that elephant, maybe to sacrifice here since that would remove something in the center, maybe to go here and block the file. Just giving more space, more activation, and that's also why I moved that, in order to be able to jump with the cannon and use that pawn as a jumper, I would say, as a piece to give mobility to the cannon. Okay, so he's removing the risk, but also if that piece disappears, I'm able to eat that for free. Knight 64. Sorry. Oh, yeah, but that gives a pawn here. Ah, well. If 9-6. Okay, so he forgot that that knight was used to protect his cannon, and there is no combination, so I will take. Maybe he will resign on that. He can take back here since he has two, but that will be very hard to play after. But that's the problem where PCs are overused. His cannon was used to defend, but that was also pinning the knight, and at some point, or you forgot, or the opponent plays something that forced the overusing to be a problem.
10초 남았습니다.
Here I'm still thinking about that central file, and I will right now show you why that's very good. Because that pawn now is pinned, since there is only two defense here. By doing that, I'm giving that elephant, but in those kind of endgames, it's really hard to defend the fortress with one guard remaining, and I think that will be it. Could be very soon. So I'm simply going back, and I can very quickly put some pressure here. Oh, I don't even look to what he can take, because there's a lot for me to win.
10초 남았습니다.
Okay, that was not the good move to defend. Can you find the checkmate in one move? No, I'm monitoring time, don't worry, and maybe I will buy some if the game continues, but
10초 남았습니다.
right now it's okay. I will simply play when there's 1 second left. There is a fancy checkmate here. Yeah, 04, rook 04. That was a good game, very interesting, and I kind of liked it. So the problem here is that the knight, the guard is pinned, and my rook is protected with my cannon. Just before that, I was thinking about what did I have in mind? I was thinking about here. Take the knight. I was thinking about that sacrifice. Not sure it works. Oh. Okay, I broke the down click, left click of my mouse. So I will continue with my laptop. Oops, what's that? That's the problem of life. That mouse is dead now. Ah, shit. And maybe here, after using that here, now as I said, I could jump there And here there is only one defending move, which is breaking out with the pawn. And there's a lot of funny things to do, because that's 2, 1. I don't go back here, I go back here. That's also only one move, and now I can activate the elephant. If cannon takes, I take that back. Maybe go there, and here, and now that's not checkmate. I was thinking that this move would checkmate, but it doesn't because of the cannon. And there is actually no way. Well, I mean, that's a way to win. But back before in the game, so side elephants, the opening was okay. Yeah, that elephant move was a bit early in my opinion, and he lost some space there. Okay. That elephant was a good move. So the idea was I could defend that way, but that's bad because I moved the rook and I can't use it. Sorry. Oh, I don't have a moves anymore. That's sad. Oh, I could defend that way, but that's a bit more fragile because move like that, and if I don't pay attention, he simply can takes that, because if I take back, I lose a rook like that. Oops. No, I can't edit anymore when I went back to the main lobby. But the game was fine. And we'll play some more, and we are 14. Maybe we'll go to the 13 league, so 2 more. And he goes for outer elephant, so I will go for inner elephant in that situation. And it's not so easy to play outer elephant when you play with red. The best move is to put the knight here, and I'm not sure putting the knight here works so much. Okay, so that seems to be quite aggressive, but the problem of that move, that's a very good square when you play outer elephant. You want to have a pawn in that square because it can be quickly protected, and it also is very annoying for me and takes space in the center. But the problem is that I can exchange it playing that funny move because he can't take considering the cannon, and now I will simply take that. I will have to take with the knight in the center, and that knight is not threatening so much, and I can maybe threaten quickly things, but I can simply also ignore that, and that's what I will be doing now. And now that was a bit the idea, is that that pawn looks very good to eat and to threaten, as we said, with the cannon and the elephant. But since there is a cannon here, an elephant here, developing that knight wouldn't protect this one. So now I can play that move, and I am threatening the knight, And with the elephant I am threatening that pawn and that pawn. And here I think he messed up. I can take for 3. I have to be careful about that elephant, but that's not a big deal in that situation. He will... Yeah, that's just a pawn and I simply go back. And the good news is that there is also a pawn fork with the elephant. And since the fork is still there, there's no rush to take the pawn. I can simply take the elephant with the rook. I don't get so much the idea because he could defend that pawn with this one and getting some play for the rook. Maybe the idea is to get some play for the cannon, but that's not so much here. It's very empty. There's no material there. And the problem, or something you have to pay a lot of attention, is that when you play outer sang, so elephant out, the square here is not so protected, since the knight they go there and here, and since the elephants don't protect neither the center, so that square I will try to exploit that. Maybe he will try to bring the rook there. Yeah, I think that's the idea. And now there's absolutely no pawns in the center, so the knights can very quickly be annoying, or even the elephant. I will protect the pawn and also attack that cannon. And that elephant is controlling those 2 squares for the king. So I could even take directly. Maybe there's something better to do. I can think about developing, but to defend he will have to go back with the cannon. And there's no clear way how to win that. So okay, I will go for this. And now that's very complicated for him. So little discovery check. My idea is to quickly give some job for that rook, since the more pieces are in the attack, the more fun. Okay, he's trying to recover and get space. His king was behind the pawn, and it's better when it's on the other side, when the pawn are in front. C4, 34. Yeah, that's the idea of moving with the cannon. I'm just thinking about... Yeah. I could check with the elephant here, but I don't... not yet. Here the idea is to threaten the knight, but my rook is doing a good job, so I'll simply stay as it is and bring that one finally into action. And the good news is that the elephant can't develop here, since that would be check. The idea is to simply gain space and already put some pressure on that quad. We already saw what it can do being here. check. That's a bit annoying because we can't take, and now that's 1 and 2 here. So I go for the knight. That was not move to do, and yeah, the game is over at that point since it's checkmate in 2 moves. So check here, and only 1 move since the cannon here is controlling the central file. 1 move and simply checkmate. It's a bit more complicated since I don't have any mouse right now, but I will try to analyze that game. Outer Song, as I said, that's the most complicated to play because the only move that makes a real difference is playing that one when there is a center elephant for blue and red, outer elephant for red. If blue open with the knight, you have to open with the same knight at the center. And the problem of opening with the other knight is that the difference is that maybe goes to the center, open here, go there in order to kind of save the rook. And the difference is that when the cannon goes there, you can't defend the rook with the cannon. That's not exactly the configuration when the opening is played properly, but that's the difference, is that the cannon is not able to go to defend the rook when the cannon is able, since that knight is used to jump and jump back, and that knight can be used to jump and jump back, but if it's the other knight, it's not possible, and the advantage on that side is not worthy for red. Okay, so we'll play last one for tonight. And again, outer elephants, and I will go for the same. I'm not sure, I don't think that's the same player. Whoa, he has a lot of tons of games, like 16,000. Okay, have a nice evening, and let's go. I will play the same. And now he plays that knight here, and then maybe I will be able to show you what it does change for him. He's putting back to the center, maybe to push, and there's a risk for me that I can put my cannon here and that would win the rook. And as I said, if now I'm going here with the rook, he can defend by simply jumping back, and he could have done that if he was with that knight, and that would have been quite bad for him. And same, if he goes and attacks me, I can jump back. There's something funny I want to try. I want to sacrifice the cannon here. Cannon takes, cannon here, cannon here. The idea was to put my cannon here and back there and to win that rook, but if he defends with that cannon and I move this cannon, he can simply eat my rook, so that doesn't work in that situation. So we try to put that rook away. Since that elephant is locked, I can try. Now he will bring that elephant there, and I won't be able to do what I wanted to do. However, I go for the file. Pushing the pawn to defend is not the best idea, because I simply use my elephant to jump, and I activated an elephant, and there is a risk that I can simply win here. That's a little tricky move. There would be a risk that if he moves the knight, my rook would be threatened, but if that cannon moves, I simply eat the rook, so that's equivalent. And here I could take after here, and that would be pinned, but he saw the problem. That's a good play. I still can get some... Oh, that's interesting game. Not sure yet. Cannon here, probably. And I think I can take that one. Okay. Maybe he wants to unpin the rook and after put back the cannon here. There's mean things he can do. It's time to go back. I'm going back on that row. Oh, yeah, then okay, because I can jump in that position. I'm not sure about that cannon move. I don't really see the full point. Okay, if the knight moves, simply rook takes here, since now there's double threat. But I have to be very... okay. I have to be very careful that cannon here doesn't check, because that would mean losing a rook, so I can't move that pawn here. I don't get what he's doing with the cannon. That sounds funny moves, but I'm okay with. Now I have to pay very close attention to what could go. And I think the safer is to leave the place. Indeed, with his cannon here, he's blocking me from coming back to the center, but he's also blocking his, so that's okay, because I may have some play with the cannon in that part of the board. Mm-hmm. His idea is probably to move that knight so that my rook is now threatened. Oh, and I may have failed, because on knight here my rook is dead since everything is controlled. I need to put some pressure on that elephant, but he can develop here. I prefer that for now. Now I will be giving some play for that rook. C86. I was thinking about sacrificing the cannon, but I prefer not. Yeah, that there's the adversary is here, and even if king takes, still the knight is defended. But what I was waiting was cannon in the center, so I could take, king take, and take, and it would be 10.47. But since the adversary is here now, that's not anymore on the table. But now the advisors are split. And when I say split, I said that the king is in the center, because mine are split, but I can very quickly link them, since for him it's 2 tempo and for me it's only 1. Now my rook is dead. Oops. Dead. Yeah, kind of. Okay. Mm-hmm.
십 초 남았습니다.
It will be tough. I'm expecting the pawn push, and he will link them, but when the pawn are pushed, I go back here, and the elephant is not defended, and I'm happy with that file. and I'll try to break those two one, because that's a good cannon. That's a bad fortress, but I'm not sure I have enough material to quickly take some advantage, and I have way less points. So if he doesn't play any mistakes, I lose, but that's not over yet. My concern will be that he can sacrifice here and quickly jump to my side. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Uh,
10초 남았습니다.
I'm buying extra time because that's the stream and I want that game to be interesting. Okay, so his idea may be to here go and eat and eat, and I will sacrifice the knight in order to bring the cannon back to the center. So that's a defense for my elephant. The elephant is pinned and the king is very weak, and that elephant can be dangerous. But now we have this. I really want to take that elephant. He can defend at some point with this cannon move. Not yet, because he has to think about retreating, but that may be something that will be good for him. Cannon there may be a problem also, because that would mean that my cannon is pinned. For example, cannon here and kind of rook takes, since I couldn't take because of that. But I simply need to bring the pawn. Okay, I have two good cannons, but not sure that will be enough. Yeah, it works, but if I take, he take, I take, pawn to the center, and I don't have any material at the end. So that would be good if I had another rook, but here I prefer to save material, because after that I'm broke. Okay, I can't do it anymore. That's let's try. Oh, and the elephant defense cannon. That's pretty annoying here. I don't know, I will try to bring the knight, but that elephant is doing a better job than expected, because it's protecting here and also protecting pawn push. Okay, that's very risky. Yep. But I have a nice square now here. And if he goes there, I take back. But that's a temple. That 12.5 point behind. That's a lot. And the idea is to bring the rook there, and since the guards are splits, simply take that. So I will not eat that and give him a tempo. I will threaten the cannon. But the elephant defends that square. Okay. Ah, that's interesting. Okay. Guess I don't have the choice. Rook takes, probably. My idea is rook there, king here, knight here, but that's not checkmate because the cannon can defend there. Ah, that's the move I wanted to avoid. There may be a way to recover the rook. Cannon takes, pawn takes, rook checkmate. Ah, shame. I will wait that he takes that so that I can bring the guard back there, and after that it may work. That's quite tricky. Yeah, I still have some hope for that idea. Okay. Yes. Ah. Yeah, plays the good move.
10초 남았습니다.
Is it enough to conclude? Not sure, not sure. Rook takes is. And that elephant can still go there and defend. Oof. Yeah, of course. That's. I prefer that his king is on that square to continue. Okay, that's very bad defense, but the idea is to prevent here for him to take, and also maybe at some point to use the cannon and threaten. But I can't move that cannon because otherwise it's checkmate, so when I will be moving this cannon, this has to be clean already. And now he will simply try to break here. And I can't play for the repetition because that's forbidden. I
10초
take some
남았습니다.
extra time again. Oh, I don't have the right to buy some. Okay. I'm giving the pawn, but that's freeing one square from the fight. P46. Pawn here, pawn push, that's bad, so yeah, P46. The first idea is to link two pawn and give one more defense to the king, and the other idea is that after linking the elephant may go here. What a game! Okay, the idea for him is to checkmate here. Now I'm offering a square to leave. P47 could have done, but I want to be very aggressive. And what I hope is that he brings the rook here and after I close so that the rook can be used to defend back, but I'm not so sure about that. Cannon here, knight moves. Yeah, and after the cannon will go there. Oh. So the best is to close. Because here the knight is pinned, so I won't check so that he moves and after he defend with the cannon, which is way more solid. I will simply optimize my situation, and it looks like he's doing the same. I have a small trap that I am thinking about. I will try that. Not sure it will be working. I have a little idea that is quite funny. Rook there, I don't care. The idea of the elephant here is to prevent the knight from moving, so here it's cannon checkmate, and that's a very funny one. That's the
10초 남았습니다.
idea. I think he saw it, yeah. But I'm not sure that's so easy way to defend, because pawn there that loses a rook. Oh, and he lost because of time. Yeah, the idea is quite fun. Whew, so we won that game, but that was a complicated one. I had to, sorry, I commented a bit less because I was focused. We will review that. So as I said, the idea at the very end was like, for example, he forgot that there is a problem and plays like pawn there to get some, and now that's beautiful checkmate, since the knight cannot flee anymore, because before his idea was to flee with the knight and defend back with the pawn. Yeah, we'll analyze that one. So that was my sheep idea, but there was not so easy way to defend, because the king has 0 squares since the rook is controlling. That is pinned. He could check I move, and that's not that doesn't solve the problem. Maybe here was the best, because here is offering to move with the knight. R72. Oh yeah, rook here. Yeah, rook here would have done the trick also. So yeah, I was dead actually. But time is time. So back to the moves before. So outer elephant, inner elephant, as I said, he went with the same knight and he could defend. After I don't play so much those openings, so I'm not sure if this is a bad or a good move. I can't say so much. Okay. And here, as I said, I took some time to calculate this move. Pawn takes, cannon takes. Because here, if he moves, I go with the elephant or whatever. And if he moves back, I simply go, and now I can take that rook for free. But since here he could defend with the cannon, if now I go back there, he take my rooks, I take his rook, and I am a cannon down, so that's not working. Rook there, giving some control here, I'm not sure. Yeah, the idea is to prevent the rook to enter. Cannon here, elephant there. And that's good. Sacrificing the cannon. The idea is to stop the pin. Cannon back home. Now for blue or for red? For red. Yeah. C97. Cannon 97. Here. Indeed. What about cannon back? And here that's likely to take. And I can take back here. And concerning the point, that's equality, that's a knight against an elephant and a pawn. We both need to retreat our cannons, and that pawn is isolated and may suffer. Yeah, that well, there's the risk. That also could be playable for. I prefer blue position here. But the idea is nice indeed, because this is blocking, and now since the cannon is not pinned anymore, I can take. Yeah. And what's good when cannon is that if I check like this, the idea is to think I can take the king and the cannon, but this moves protects the cannon and also prevent check. And here indeed the situation is better for red because of points. That's a big difference. But no, I try to edit again, but there is a little shift when I edit again, and I cannot really play against that. So we'll stop here. And we've been promoted to 13 league. That was very complicated last game. We won because of time, otherwise that would have been complicated. So tomorrow we'll be streaming puzzles. You can take back to be at 5 p.m. Otherwise, have a very good night and good evening. See you!